Hello everyone and welcome to the first official video on the Yo-Ho-Ho channel. It's a Pokemon tier list, one of my favourite series of all time, and I thought I'd start things not controversially at all with a tier list. Keep in mind this is just my opinion, so any debate just put it down in the comments and we can talk about things nicely. Here we go. I've loaded them all up into F tier, but it's not really like F tier. It's just for them to be. So we'll just call that a limbo for now. Obviously S at the top, we've got D at the bottom. Let's start off at the beginning. Pokemon Red and Blue. Pokemon Red and Blue are they're not bottom tier. I'm going to put them at solid B. I think it might. These tiers might change depending on where other games go, but they're really solid games. Obviously, you've got the mechanical sort of mishaps with the psychic typing, and but it was the first game, so you can forgive them for game breaking things, I guess. Overall, great game. The Pokemon designs are still some of the best in the series. The music is great for what it is. And yeah, I don't have much to say about Red and Blue. I did play them a couple of years ago when they released on Virtual Console, but overall, I really like them. I would play them again. They've got great replay value. Next up is Pokemon Yellow, which is virtually the same game, apart from you start off with Pikachu and it's more of a sort of anime based game. It's still good and it brings colour into the Gen 1 for the first time. They're basically the same game. I don't like having to start with Pikachu though. I know that's the point of the game, but I'm not a fan. Just like in Let's Go, I'm just not the biggest fan of it. I do like that you can get the starters individually, although they are separated, so they're going to be lower level than your Pokemon. Having colour again is great, but I'm going to put it one lower, just because I don't like starting with purely Pikachu and I don't like following the anime as much. So that's why I've done that. Next up is Pokemon Silver. The easiest decision of my life. These games are amazing. The soundtrack is one of the best in the game. You get to explore 2 regions in one game. Never been done before, apart from the remakes. The one thing I will say about it, the Pokemon designs are not as good as Gen 1. And they're not, or the good ones aren't as frequent. What I mean by this is you've got Pokemon like Tyranitar, or Larvitar, Pupitar, Tyranitar, who are just not available until later on. And Pokemon like Houndoom, you only see in Team Rocket battles, and it's just annoying, honestly. When you've got a new dex, it's like you want to see these new Pokemon. Also, there's a level scaling issue, which is prevalent in the remakes as well. And this is down to you can actually sort of do after you've passed Critique City, you can do these in the gyms in a different order. So you go to Price first, or you go to Chuck first, or you can do Jasmine. Obviously, if you've done the medicine sort of side quest. I really like that sort of open worldy. It's as most open world as Pokemon gets. The soundtrack is amazing. I've already said that, but it is genuinely amazing. Step up from Red and Blue, even though you didn't think you could get step up, but this game provides that step up. Real few issues, just apart from the leveling, and the Pokémon availability, but overall, when this got announced for Virtual Console, I was over the moon because Heart Gold was Heart Gold, Soul Silver are my favourite games. Spoiler alert. So being able to play the original was really amazing. Pokemon Crystal as well is the same, but you have the option to play as Chris, which is the girl, which is great. And there's more of a focus on the Suicune and the Suicune guy, whose name eludes me right now. Is his name like... I don't know, but there's a Pokemon Generations episode about him, which is quite cool. That's got a really cool like remix track in it. You should watch it. Ucene, I think his name is. If that's how you pronounce it, but you get to fight him a few times. It just adds to the game. Something I forgot to mention with Gen 1. You've got a great rival, which you also have in Gen 2. I only mention this now because the level of rival variates between all the games, but yeah, they're amazing games. They deserve S tier. Pokemon Ruby is B tier, just ahead of the originals. Yeah, Ruby and Sapphire. I'm not putting all of the games on. I'm just playing the version that I played, but obviously it represents the both games. Pokemon Ruby is a great game. Again, the region's great, the music is always solid. It's solid again, but we moved obviously up into graphically better, and you can get a better range of music in there with the Game Boy Advance. It's just a really fun game. There's a bit of open world aspects to it as well, like you can explore a few of the towns. It feels like you're sort of doing a diverging path, which is really nice. The Pokemon are, I'd say they're a step up from Gen 2. I really like the whole dex, I think. The rival is awful. Brendan or May. And then Wally really sucks in this game. Yeah, thinking about it, Gen 1's better than Gen 3. The rival is just it's much better in that game. That's not the only reason, but it's part of why Gen 1 are better than Gen 3. The champion battle, brilliant. Steven's probably the best champion throughout these games. One of the best, along with a certain someone from Gen 4. Oops, I keep moving my mouse by accident. Sorry about that. Yeah, I haven't played. I have a copy of Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald that I have on the Game Boy Advance, but I just haven't played through them completely because of playing on a Game Boy Advance. There's such a weird backlight thing in it. You can't really see it that well, but I have played through the games. I did enjoy them. Pokemon Emerald is better than Pokemon Ruby. It does what a third version should and adds to it with a little bit more extra with Rayquaza, whatever you want to say. I don't care. It adds Rayquaza, it adds things that are better than Pokemon Ruby, which actually, in my opinion, bumps it up past Gen 1 into A tier. It is the same though, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Pokemon Fire Red can go there. I like the original more than Pokemon Fire Red because I don't know, I think by the time this came out it didn't need a remake. You've played through Kanto there with the original Yellow and then Silver, maybe even Crystal, so that's potential 4 times played, and you play it again. It's lovely to have a remake, but I don't think it's warranted. It's still based off Gen 1, so it's great, and you've got all the Pokemon from up to Gen 3 in there, which adds to it, but no, not not as good. Next up, Gen 4, Pokemon Pearl. Pokemon Pearl is interesting. I'm just thinking where to put it because Gen 4 is great. It's probably the joint best generation, along with Gen 5 in my opinion. But there is a problem with Pearl, as in it's so slow. And there's a couple of problems with it which get improved in Platinum, which is why I can easily say Platinum is A tier and better than Emerald. It's what this does exactly, again, what a third version should, and makes everything better. Adding Giratina as well, which is really nice. You fight Cyrus a few more times, which is cool. It's better than Pearl. I'm going to put Pearl there. Or, you know, you may say, oh, they're the same game, but the slowness to me just detracts from it incredibly so. I know that's still slow, but they improved it massively. They improved the start of the game. You know, they're quite far apart, but to me, Platinum is just that much better than Pokemon Pearl. If Platinum didn't exist, I would, you know, maybe Pearl would be there, Diamond and Pearl, but yeah, they did improve it, and that's why Platinum's there and Pearl is there. Okay, Gen 4 Part 2 or Part 3, not really. I don't know what, you know, the parts I'm on about here, but it's not JoJo's. Although I wish the story was like JoJo's, because then it might maybe make Pokemon a bit better again. But that's probably a topic for another video. Soul Silver. We are on Soul Silver now. It's the best Pokemon game ever made. I think that's, you know, it's not an unpopular opinion, although some may argue Platinum. It just does everything Gen 2 does, with a new coat of paint, improving the music, the visuals, the game in general. You explore Kanto again. But it's still, it was my first Pokemon game, so maybe you've got a bit of nostalgia bias, but I have the best time playing that game. I've played it so many times that it's never going to get beaten. It's honestly in a tier of its own, but it's just amazing. If you haven't played it, just play it. You won't be disappointed. Next up is Gen 5 and Pokemon Black and White, which sort of did a semi-reset to the series and had a similar sort of decks and styles to Gen 1. They're great games. They are really good games. Yeah. Probably the bottom of A tier because Black 2, in my opinion, is way better. But Pokemon Black, I loved that they took away all of the Pokemon. You just had Gen 5 decks to get used to it, and I think that's really refreshing when Pokemon do that. Gen 5 art style is amazing. The fact they animated all the Pokemon's like idle animations is amazing. They look amazing. I wish we could have a game like that again. Obviously we won't, but it would just be incredible. Story is great, one of the best stories we've had. I'm going to do that, actually. I've changed my mind. Just remembering more about Pokemon Black, you've got a great villain in Getsis who is literally just insane. He's crazy. And it really shows the way they write him. The final battle is cool. Getsis, then N, or after N, Bealda, which is so sort of shakes up the formula because you don't have a champion battle and then you have to go back and do it, which kind of detracts from Alder as a champion, but I think it kind of works with his character better. The reason why I think Black 2 is better is because Well, they bring back the Pokemon, which is nice after you've had a break from the old Pokemon, and then they come back. I enjoy the story more. I enjoy the rivals more. You've got, I don't want to say terrible, because you've got some terrible rivals coming up. But Bianca, Sharon's alright. Bianca's annoying, honestly, but not as annoying as things get later on. Black 2 has Hugh. That's his official name. I think he's great. He's got a motivation, slightly tenuous motivation it's to get his sister's Pokemon back. But the way he says it's like, I want to get Purloin back, and just a little Purloin doesn't seem worth going on a whole adventure. But I like him. I think he's got a cool design, cool battle theme. I like him more than Sharon and Bianca. And I like Sharon more in this game because he's a gym leader and they're older. Speaking of Alder's in the game as well. He's not the champion. Iris is. She's great. N's in it as well. Getsus is in it again. Colress is in it. Colress is a really cool guy. I really like Colress. Which is why I just think Black 2 is better overall than Black. I realise I haven't been talking about rivals for every gen. I didn't talk about Barry. I like Barry. He's okay. He's not amazing. He just wants to battle you all the time. But he's solid. And Cynthia is obviously a great champion with a really difficult battle, which is really enjoyable. To have a hard battle, an actual hard battle. Obviously in Soul Silver, you get Lance, who's hard because he's over leveled compared to you, because there's a leveling problem in that game. But it's still hard, but it's not hard to the same extent as Cynthia was. So that's a little chip on Gen 2 Remake's shoulders, and Gen 2 in general. So next time we're moving to the 3DS era in Pokemon Y. Pokemon Y does get a little bit of hate, but it's got one of the coolest mechanics, never topped mechanic of Mega Evolution. Mega Evolution it's amazing. It brings relevance to older Pokemon. They slightly broke it by giving Pokemon they later on giving Pokemon like Salamence, Pokemon that don't need it. But they did well with like Beedrill and Medicham even. So I think it's great. I'm actually going to move that down there. Pokemon Y, I do love it. It has got good replay value. Team Flare, awful. Lysander's awful. Imagine a villain whose first scene is basically, the world is beautiful, we must purge it of impurities, or something like that. Like the ProZD Sketch, with Lysander off. If you don't know what that is, I'll put a little clip in. Link his channel in the description, because it's good. You should watch them. But he kind of pokes fun at the fact it's like, oh my god, this character is evil suddenly. He's kind of sucks. The story's weak. Pokemon designs are weak. The dex is weak as well. So, but the overall experience is enjoyable. And I think I'm gonna reorder things a little bit, because I like X and Y like that. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm tempted to swap these two around, because I get more enjoyment out of Y than Pearl, and I think Platinum is just that much better than Pearl, so I'm going to do that. Sorry, Gen 4 fans. Next up, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are great remakes. They are quality. More Mega Evolution is brilliant. They're better than Ruby. Are they better than Emerald? No, because Emerald has this sort of charm that just remakes can't sometimes do. But I do have fond memories playing this game. It does add the Delta episode, which is basically the equivalent of Emerald, which is really fun. With Zinnia, who's a great little character with an amazing theme. This is going to the top of B tier. Well done. Well done to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Then we move on to... Oh, I've had those the wrong way around. What a idiot. Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Ultra Sun. Pokemon Sun is going there. Pokemon Sun goes there because Pokemon Sun shouldn't be a game. Pokemon Ultra Sun, that should be the game. You know, it's almost like they're trying to say, hey, we made a sequel, or, you know, equivalent to that Pokemon Black and 2. It's not really it's a third version, but with two versions of it. And what there is in Ultra Sun is great. It's like they've refined Sun. They're like, oh, we've realised Sun is kind of shitty. But it's not shitty. It's just not what it should be. Or we kind of rushed it a bit. Let's do what we wanted to do with the next version. The first island is not fun at all. Text, you just have to spam through the text, constant stopping. Rotom Dex talks to you all the time. In saying that, I like what the Rotom Dex is, I just don't like how he stops you and tells you things like constantly. It's hand holding to a maximum. Ultra Sun refines it well, adds Necrozma, Ultra Necrozma, and the Ultra Recon Squad, and a Rainbow Rocket episode. Which puts it there. This is difficult because I do enjoy the games. I'm going to put it there. Honestly. No, there. Okay, yeah. It's good fun, but there are problems in it. I think they went for a great story. Team Skull are great. A huge step up from the last generation, and the 8th Foundation sort of twists you can see coming, but it's still enjoyable. Lucamine's a great villain. Kind of changed things in this game, but it's still a good story. You know, especially compared to what we just had. It's just Ultra Beasts are cool. I will say that. There are just problems with Gen 7. Which I just can't seem to get over when playing them. They've got, to me, less replayability. Obviously, Ultra Sun has more replayability because of the text is better. They've kind of restructured the game from the start. But their selling point kind of was, hey, we've taken out gyms, but their replacement for gyms was Island Trials, which had types. And it basically boiled down to, hey, I'm a trial captain, aka gym leader. You don't fight me, although you do afterwards in a sort of extra thing with one of the trial captains, but you don't fight me, but you fight a typed Pokemon who's just mega strong. They're fun, those battles are fun and challenging, especially in a Nuzlocke challenge, but when you think about it, they haven't really shaken anything up. They've just replaced gym battles with totem battles, which use the same type. You know, they're still one type things. You know, give me as a game where gyms are theme based, or there's a just completely different thing apart from gyms, because you know they are kind of similar. I'm going to quickly talk about Gen 6's rivals, and then sort back to Gen 7's rivals, because I keep forgetting about the rivals. Yeah, they suck. Worst rivals in probably ever, apart from Let's Go. The whole group dynamic doesn't work. Your rival Callum or Sharina, or whatever her name is, just awful, boring. Serena, or Shauna, sorry, just annoying. Tierno and Trevor are sort of stupid. It's like, you beat them regardless. And that game's easy. It's so easy, it's sort of laughable. I just wanted to touch on that quickly before I talk about how he is okay. I like him in this game, in Ultra Sun, more than Sun, but he's still not they've never hit the heights they hit with Blue and Silver. They did alter Wally in the remake to make him better. He's still not amazing. How, again, they altered him in that version, still not amazing, but he's solid. Moving on to Pokemon Let's Go is D tier. It's a fun game, you can have fun with it. As a Pokemon game, no, I don't enjoy it, like, terribly. You know, the catching mechanic, I know it's not meant to be a main series game, but, you know, as how these are main series games, but just the catching mechanic, it gets it boring after a while. When you just want to sort of sit down and play the game, you have to like throw it and all that. Catching as well just gets you so much more XP than battling, which to me doesn't make sense because battling is the main part of Pokemon. I guess you could argue, hey, Let's Go is about catching because it's Pokemon Go based, but battling is still a part. You're trying to bridge the gap between the two. There's a candy system in that game, much like Gen 8, which they were trialling. It's, you know, that's okay. Just does trivialise the game a bit. The rival is the worst rival I've ever seen. Your friendly rival, who follows the same path as Blue. But why? He isn't the same as Blue. Blue is separate. There's a separate character in the game, which is cool. But just, I don't even know his name. Like this rival's name. I'll put it on screen now. It's something stupid. I'll put it in. I'll edit it in. But he's stupid. He's honestly awful. Like, kids dealt with Blue back in the day and Silver. Why can't they deal with, you know, someone a little more just spicy and arrogant? Makes you want to beat them. You meet this your friendly rival in the Champions Throne, and the amazing remix plays of the theme. The music in that game is incredible, and the art style's really nice, but you just don't care. You just don't care fighting him because he carries no weight in his character. It's not even a character. Despite that, it's a fun game, colourful, nice outfits and stuff. And I'd love to see the Gen 2 get the treatment, which is a bit hypocritical, seeing as I was saying I don't like the game, but I would play the hell out of a Gen 2 version of that because it's Gen 2 and the art style is so enjoyable. It's just not a Pokemon game. So that's all I'll say. I'll stop there. I need to save my ranting for Pokemon Shield. Pokemon Shield I am making a video about it. It will eventually come out, I hope, because I've got a lot to say about it. On the one hand, it's fun. I've played it twice because it's fun to play. I don't know. It's just it's the same formula again. Like Game Freak, and Nintendo keep doing the same game of like fighting and the battle. They've got that down. They're never going to change that because it works and it's addictive. You keep it growing and attaining like badges until you reach the top. It's a great system, which they went back to after Gen 7 because it works better. So they've got that going for them. The sort of challenge aspect of it, the gym challenge, is really fun. I like the tournament style, the tournament vibe. The music in this game is incredible. It's always incredible. I don't think there's bad music in any of the games, but Gen 8 is notable for a great soundtrack, along with Gen 2 and 5 and 4, and Let's Go because it's awesome. But amazing music. The wild area is good in theory. In practice, I'd say it's half good, half they missed the mark, just because it just becomes the same thing over and over again. It's like, wow, I've got this whole wild area to explore, but once you've done one section and seen it, it's like, oh, it's the same thing again, just with different weather. That's great. Is there anything else? Oh wait, no, there's not. You know, I just wish they took their time. They don't have to push a game out every single year. I've got hope for the DLC. It looks like they've put a bit more effort into it, but the more I look into it, the more I'm like, oh, it does look the same. So I'm worried about that. I haven't even bought it yet. I'm sure I will, because it's Pokemon, and I'm, much like every other fan, will just keep buying it, regardless of quality. But oh no, my keyboard just lost connection. Ignore that. I don't like the game. I like the game and I don't like the game just because of what it stands for. They've put out a game with low effort. The animations that they talk about, that they worked on, you know, are not the battle animations or the game looking nice graphically. Like those notorious trees in the wild area are shocking. It's shocking. The animations in the battle just are childish. As in, like, you know, a child could make it. Like a Pokemon jumping twice for double kick, like that is ridiculous. The argument, yeah, they're for kids. Yeah, okay, they're for kids. I'm sure Gen 1 was for kids. Did any of them die while playing it? No. Kids can handle a bit of challenge. Like, these games are ridiculously easy. The only tough fight is Leon, which I was pleasantly surprised at. It's just a shame that his character is, where's Charizard? I get lost. Charizard champion, unbeatable. Over and over again. Character-wise, this game has a mixed bag. Hop is atrocious. They have a great idea, like, he gets knocked down by Biddy, or Bede, and then they sort of forget to build him back up. Then he becomes a professor, or like a training professor, like in the little post-game bit, which is a laughable post-game compared to every other post-game. Just laughable. Like, Sword and Shield, but it's stupid. The concept of the post-game is going to all the stadiums again and Dynamaxing fight, and then you fight Hop. Just like, this game is just the definition of, we've given up. We know that this is going to sell. This game sold incredibly well, better than almost any game apart from Gen 1, 2, and 4, I believe. I might have just made that up, but it's made money. Of course, I bought it. I've played it. It's not a bad game, but it stands for everything that game developers shouldn't do. Just low effort. Probably some of the lowest effort that you could put into a game and release with all the funds and creativity they've got. Speaking of creativity, the Pokemon in this game are back to being great again. I think some of the designs are incredible. Dragapult, amazing. Grimmsnarl is, you see that. I saw the Dex leak, and you look at them and like, I want that on my team. I want that on my team. And when you've got like 10 Pokemon you want in a team, that's when you know it's got a good Dex. Never had that with Gen 6. Not really with Gen 7 either. So hats off to them. I struggle to rank it because for what it stands for, it goes there. Or, okay, maybe not. It goes there. But in terms of a game, it's it probably just goes somewhere in mid-tier. Because it's alright. I'm not going to put it in D tier because there are things that are good, but it's only just escaping. And I'm going to put it at the top of C tier because it has got great replayability, it's got great Pokemon, it's got great music, it's got some good aspects. Bede and Marnie are amazing. Hop is not. So it's just this game is the definition of a mixed bag. And it just makes me a bit mad, because it could be amazing, and it's not. So there we have it. That's my little tier list for Pokemon games. I'm sure this was a massive ramble. I know I sort of jumped between games quite a lot, because I forgot to talk about the rivals in every game, and then went back, and you know what I mean. It was a bit of a ramble, jumbled up. I'm sure it's watchable. I hope it is. I'm going to do more tier lists like this. I really enjoy doing them, just talking about the games. Maybe we'll get a couple of people on to talk about games that they like. I just like sort of ordering things and talking about them, and it's relatively good for me to be able to sort of practice editing and get these videos up fairly regularly. So if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe, I guess. And other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.